Alright, what's going on YouTube? So this is going to be my first tutorial, and who else better to start off than, the man himself, RL Grime. I actually saw RL at Coachella, what was that, 2016. That was my first time ever going to like any sort of EDM show or like a festival or anything of that nature, and seeing his performance and like the whole DJ rig that he has and lifts up and down, and like his listening to that kind of music. And I was blown away, and needless to say, figured, I wanted to get my start and trying to mess around and producing. And to preface this, I'm no god or any magician or anything when it comes to producing. I kind of just know what I know, and mess around and come up with cool ideas, I guess, so to say. So I guess we'll just get right into it. I started with this main synth. So this is it. And so that's pretty much just a massive pad, or some saws. And here's the MIDI. I just drew everything in for this one because it's just a lot easier, with this note change with, what is that, like the 7th? I don't even know. And, I thought it sounded kind of cool to mirror what this top line was doing with the bass. Obviously, it's kind of, when you're putting a different note in the bass, it's changing the chord, and I honestly don't even know what chords these are. So we're starting off with like a B minor. It's like an A. It's like a G major 7th maybe. And that should be an F minor. That's inverted. F sharp minor, sorry, F sharp minor. That's inverted. So I went ahead and did that, and I doubled the pad right down here, and I panned one hard left, one hard right. And then if you click on this little time delay, so I shifted this one 13 seconds ahead, which I don't even know if you're supposed to do that. You're probably supposed to shift it behind. We'll do samples. Yeah, samples is easier to measure. To get like the haas effect, if you guys know what that is, it's supposed to give you like it sounds wider. So if you have earphones or headphones on, you'll be able to hear that, or if you're listening on monitors. So anyways, that's pretty much just the main synth line that kind of goes throughout the whole song, the whole loop. Next, I went with this is a Serum patch from the ADSR guys. It's just this choir sound. So it's literally just this one, B held out for, the whole, first 4 bars. But so it just kind of gives this like ominous ambience to the sound, or like to the beginning, to the intro. And then in the second part of the intro, it comes in with this second line. So here's what the two sound together. So as you can see, the two kind of, the way that the harmonics are with each other somewhat like starts to build a chord and gives it that Lord of the Rings, movie ominous vibe. And then besides that, I just have this ambient noise going in the background. So then from there, it goes into this it goes into this drum line, This is a Crane sample from, you know, his Splice Pack, chopped and edited into a, like, you know, a different loop than what the original loop sample was, and then reconsolidated. So this is so that's the next part of that, and that comes in, you know, for these next whatever 8 bars, going into this build up section. And I mean, so that's pretty much it. There's, you know, here's a cymbal, this is a quick white noise sweep, this is a reverse crash. So then you go into this build up section. Oh, I forgot about the bass. So this is just a respace, you know, whatever, detuned saw bass, whatever you want to call it. And this is, again, I think this is just massive. Yeah, it's massive. But on the, so one is the saw and one is a sub. So this top part, if you go and look at the EQ, EQ'd out everything below 80 just for where the sub can sit, and then the sub has its own little EQ on it down to whatever, like 20 hertz, 24 hertz. So this is what these two sound like together. And I gave it that. There's, in the MIDI, I think that I drew this in again. So if you put the glide up, and then you can hit these other notes and give it that, like, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's just got this cool vibe to it that RL Grime likes to do in a lot of his music, I feel like. So I mean, kind of the main reason, or that I put the sub on the bottom, is A, because it makes it, you know, sound so much fatter, and also because this massive patch, the saw, is stereo. It's not in mono, so I feel like that'll kind of mess with the mix. You know, some people, I don't know, but at the beginning I would just go into like a EQ and go like this and just bump everything up here to give it more bass, which I know is not the right way to do things now. But yeah, so you can just layer it with this deeper sub. So then it goes into this build section, just a bunch of different build drums. Here's the main one that I programmed. It's just a snare with a filter coming off of it. And then under that is this loop. And then here's a riser. And that's just got an auto filter coming off of, you know, automated on it. Here's some buildup drums. I like this one because it has that little kick in it, and I didn't want to put a kick. I feel like RL Grime doesn't really put a lot of kicks in, or if he does, he auto filters it out to where at the end of the drop it's just all high end. And then here's just another little snare build. These are, you know, as you can tell, that those are cymatics. And then I just held the chords out for the whole time. And then that's pretty much it. So that takes us into this drop. Oh, there's also this vocal line, but that's not really important. It's just in the background. You can't hear it at all. And then that pretty much takes us into the drop. So in the main drop, you know, you got the 808s. Here's the pattern that I did for that. just got a compressor doing a little bit of side chaining. There's not really a lot of attack to the 808, so I feel like I really didn't need to side chain it much. So here's the main synth in the drop again, with the drop chords. Along with that, I have this Serum Wobble sound. This is more of like, this is not really a trappy, this is like what Louis the Child does, but I thought it kind of sounded cool. So I just alternate that with the octaves, drop it down to the next octave, and then last I have another just saw. It's really quiet and it's panned to the right because I had this main one panned just slightly to the left. So that's pretty much my synth layers. Besides that, I have this another kind of like choir sample, but I put a LFO tool on it, so it makes that same 16th wobble sounds. So that's pretty much just covering all the high end, EQ'd out all the lows. LFO tool, this is just some stereo imaging, put OTT, and I made it so that this first part of the drop, the width is at like 100%, and the second part, I automated it to 130, so it's just a little bit wider, just that second part. And then here's just the choir again, that I just bounced it to audio. And then, I mean, aside from that, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Here's just the drum groove. So you start with these trap trashes. Here's just a crowd clap going in the background for the whole thing, just to kind of add noise. And then just super basic kick and snare pattern, and then I got these hi-hats doing, 16th notes when the snare hits, just to add, I don't know, something different. And then just in the second part of the drop, I put in a ride. And I panned that to the right, because I try to pan my drums where, it would be if you're a drummer sitting on the drum set. So I got the hats to the left, because the hi-hat, stand usually is right on the left of you. I'll keep the snare right in the middle, maybe panning a little bit to the left, but you also kind of want to, I don't know, a lot of people like to mess around stereo-wise of having really wide, a clap on top of the snare, whatever. Anyways, I don't really know. Yeah, and then besides those sounds, I just got a bunch of white noise filters and whatnot on the bottom. And that's pretty much it. And then it just goes right back into that intro section. So, I mean, this isn't super comprehensive. A lot of things I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just throwing sounds in there and things that sound good. So if you like this video, I mean, I'm going to try to do future ones. And the next one I'm actually going to try to make a different, DJ sound or whatever song, but completely with stock plugins. So, be on the lookout for that if you want to watch that video. But besides that, leave me a comment, whatever, like what you think, if there's things you think I did well, things I could do better. I didn't do any mixing or anything on this. This is kind of just a quick idea, kind of quick video, what to get down, and just to give some inspiration of how he goes about doing things, and how you can achieve his kind of sound. I mean, as far as when it comes to your productions. So yeah, I'm gonna let the whole thing play out.